I have an opportunity for Kathy B, Jeff B, David B, and the whole B family right here. I have an opportunity for you to double your money 100% if you're willing to take it. It's at the end of the video that's coming up. I will double your money. Are you willing to put your money in, and I will double it if you're right? You don't believe me? Watch to the end. Check it out. All right. Let me fix this here. I want to commend, that's the word, I want to make sure I commend Travis on this statement right here. Travis is basically going to do something that is going to put silence. I mean, I'm talking crickets in regards to answering these questions, all right? And I want to kind of explain this.
For 2 or 3 days. Maybe
he just left today. Yeah, that nuclear plant is just inland from Cape Canaveral.
Well, we're supposed to have some nuclear scare event, just like Russia said they're going to burn us to ashes, so who knows?
I mean, why would you do that to your best friend? Really?
Well, apparently we're not best friends. Apparently we're not best friends with Russia anymore because Putin came out today and said the USA has got to stop their bullshit.
Boom. Everybody thinks we're going into NASARA, and everybody thinks we're all big friends, and Travis comes out and says, apparently we're not friends anymore. Absolutely right, Travis.
Well, what he's directing it at is
probably playing duel. He's probably playing duel because it's the same way as...
Hang on. Kathy, go ahead.
No, it's all right. I was listening to David.
Right, because she doesn't want to get caught. So David's coming out saying, "Oh, we're probably playing duel. There's probably two of them." It says, and they're playing double agent, and they're gonna do all this. And no, they're not. And Kathy's like, she's being called out right now.
Okay.
Well, it's the same as the G7 summit. Everybody thought that the Air Force One designation was given to the aircraft flying across to Europe. Well, the reason it's given Air Force...
Now, of course, David's spewing stuff that he has absolutely no proof of, and, CGI and all this other crap. Here it comes.
Force One designation is because Trump was on the aircraft, and he was at the G7 meeting. Biden was there, maybe by CGI, maybe by somewhere else, but he had no input, no nothing, because Putin considers him illegitimate. He laughs at him. He thinks it's all funny as hell.
Yeah, because obviously David's best friends with Putin, and he thinks it's funny how he has conversations regularly with Putin, and Putin's like, David, dude, your country's a joke, and Putin's like, and David's like, yeah, I know, whoop, whoop, and then they go back and forth, and definitely Putin's in there, and conversations with David.
Better, supposedly.
Well, he's known since 2016.
I'll say, so she says Putin's known since 2016. Now, I want everybody to understand is that Biden is the president. Like it or not, he's the president. Does he call all the shots? Of course not. No president calls all the shots. It's a monstrous operation going on with a lot of moving parts. And we can see this just through logistics, how poorly our logistics is and how poorly that's being run. If technically that was being legitimately run in an organized way, we wouldn't have been in the situation we were in.
Do you know about the St. Germain Trust Fund stuff?
I had heard about that from one of the
Here we go.
Disclosures off of, I think it was probably Phil's.
Well, I sent a link to Travis. I can send it to you, too. I read it today, and it connected a hell of a lot of dots. My understanding is that this trust only pays out two times a year that's eligible to be paid out, and a lot of other markers had to be done, which have already been done for it to pay out, but they have to the tune of 40 zeros behind it. That's how much money is in there.
Well, and
the next time window for it to open would be on the 24th of this month, which is Friday.
Okay.
So Friday we get our money.
How much of that's going to be healthy to our economy? Kathy's actually said she understands more of that than I do, and I'm sure she does. I'm not trying to be derogative at all. But if you start dumping money in everybody's pockets, inflation will explode.
Crickets. Thank you, Travis. This is what we wanted, Travis. This is the discourse we wanted, Travis. These are the questions that we want to put out there. Legitimate questions and stances being made. Because everybody puts these questions out and then backs down and then just lets the most uneducated people spew stupidity. And nobody stands up and says, no, I don't think that's right.
Because nobody's going to work. If they start dropping money in us, nobody's going to work. Am I wrong?
I don't know how. I mean, depends. I mean, I guess it depends how it's distributed. I mean,
You want proof of this? I'll give you 100% proof of this. Unemployment caused everyone to stop working. And that wasn't even close to the amount of money we're supposed to be getting. We were in the situation that we were in because unemployment gave an extra $300, $600 a week. So you end up getting like $1,000 a week, and people stopped working for $1,000 a week. And our system got so screwed up. So now what are you going to do? You're going to give them more than that, and you're going to give everybody that money, even if they are employed?
I don't know. I mean, I guess it depends how it's distributed and yada, yada, yada. I mean, I'd be amazed if anything even happens to that along those lines. Would be amazing to me at this point.
But that's my question.
Come on, Kathy, step up.
Is it going to be, all right, so let's say they start dumping money in our pockets. We're not going to go to work for a substandard wage anymore, and a cheeseburger is going to cost $19,000.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you, Travis. And I this was the point we are bringing. These are the questions we were bringing. This is what we wanted on the Defiant Discourse podcast. We wanted people like Kathy to step up and stand on their position. Stand against people who have actual intelligence, common sense, and critical thinking to say, how is that going to work? Because people are basing loans on this, credit cards on this. They are waiting for this money. And you are leading them down the road to what? I can give you a current example. Straight up current example. That if you give people free money, they will not work. If government gives businesses free money, which they did, inflation goes up. It goes up. Because for me to get my product moved, I now have to raise the price to the truck to hire my freight because the government's paying more money for that truck to move. So answer the question, Kathy. Answer the question.
Kathy?
Oh, look, Lily J is doing the research.
Wow. Crickets.
Damn, Travis, we got to go to Washington State, hang out with Lily. Woo-hoo.
Kathy?
Eating steaks, bacon scallops, and all.
Now paging Kathy. Kathy B, are you available? Kathy B, you've been called out. I see a common trend between a Jeff B and a Kathy B. Once called out, they disappear. They go stealth. They lose their voice.
Kind of good stuff, plus drinking wild liquor. Woo-hoo. What's that like?
That's cool. but that still doesn't answer the question.
Thank you, Travis. Thank you for staying focused. Even though David is trying to break that focus.
Kathy, can you hear?
It'll be bumper to bumper with a Cadillac. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how it rolls out.
I don't either. That's why I was asking Kathy, because Kathy knows a lot about a lot of stuff.
Well, I know a little bit about some stuff. The Saint Germain, like I said, I've not had time to get into it. Phil mentioned it about a week ago, and I've been up to my ass in Indians, so I've been, besides the fact of not been able to talk anyway. This is the most voice I've had, and now I have ear infections in both ears. Let's just go shoot.
Oh, wow. Wow. My ear infection in both ears can't hear the intelligence that you're spewing into my brain. That ear infection is literally blocking that intelligent question that you just asked me, and it's being filtered into my brain, and it just stopped. I think it's the ear infection. The ear infection is causing me not to hear what you're saying. Brilliant. She's brilliant.
Me now.
No, I'm sorry.
I mean, really.
Did she say ass?
I know. You need to go drag me out and throw me in the salt water. NASARA, I just dropped you the link, David. If you want it, I'll give you the light side. It's what I call it. There's 20 points of NASARA. It's not going to be billions of dollars dumped on everybody's lap. That's not how it's going to happen, because the country and the planet has to survive and has to have people doing the jobs. I mean, that's what this is all about. What they're writing is the wrongs that have been done for the last, well, on this planet, 25,000 years.
Oh, yeah.
Perfect. This is brilliant. You are now paying people and then forcing them to work. We have another name for this. It's not NASARA. It's communism. Do you see it now? Does anybody just see what she did? She just said it's not going to be distributed millions of dollars at one time. Who would do that? That's just stupid. We still need you to work. We still need you to do what you're told, and then we're going to pay you for that. So we're going to force you to work and pay you money. That is communism. And you are welcoming that. Please put me in chains. Please force me to work. Please put me in communism.
Yeah, well, the one that I sent Travis and read, that the person that kicked off a certain thing on 9/11 was Herbert Walker Bushy Boy L. Sr., because this has been a court case that has been hidden under the penalty of treason and being killed if you mention anything about it.
Yep.
But it also goes into the Bar Association, and there was only 8 people in Congress that were able to vote on it because all the other ones were deemed illegitimate.
Yeah.
Just like every lawyer that is a member of the Bar Association under this is illegitimate.
Yes.
Because they have ties to the crown.
Because the Constitution doesn't exist anymore. 1871 has now been abolished. What you need to understand about George H. Walker Bush.
Of course, the Constitution doesn't exist. Although we are doing things per the Constitution. See, the Constitution isn't... we are still doing things like, I don't know... We still have freedom of speech from the government. We still have, we don't have it on private because it was never designed for private. I still have the right to bear arms. I still have that. So it does exist. It is a constant fight to maintain it, but it exists, right? Because the Constitution, it does exist because when it pertains to them, they love using it, but it's still there. But we are a constant battle to keep it. So what happens is they do something unconstitutional. It goes through the system, the 3 checks and balances system, ends up in the courts, and then the judges say yay or nay, and that's kind of how the system's designed. It's not a dictatorship. You all think, it's not you all, but these people here all think it's a dictatorship. It's not. It's not.
Is that he was not president at the time that he stepped back into the White House quietly to make George Walker Bush do what he was told to do.
Right.
He went back to the White House that day, the night before, because they did not want NASARA to be rolled out. The gold was there. It was in New York.
Right. There was $10 billion worth of.
I love the fact that you just feel that the gold is yours to take. You didn't mine it. You didn't do anything. You did nothing but complained about it. What you're asking for is communism. You want communism. Just call it what it is. Stop lying to yourself. Stop lying to everybody else. This is communism. Money that's going to be rolled out and given to you, but you're still forced to do the jobs and you're still forced to work, even though you might not need to work because you've kept your bills down. And if they give you $1,000 a week, is $1,000 a week a lot of money for NASARA? Is it a lot of money to be given for NASARA? Does anybody think that NASARA is going to give you less than $1,000 a week? Because you can see what happened to the country when the government gave you $1,000 a week. We bitched about it. We bitched about paying people. This is what I can't understand. We bitched about paying people to stay at home on unemployment. Every one of you bitched about it. But you have no problem bitching when you can stay at home, when the government's giving you money. You have no problem saying, well, you still have the government forcing you to go back to work? They're forcing me to work, even though I don't have to work because you're giving me enough money for me to be able to survive without working. And that's fine. That's okay in your mind. In your simple brains, that's okay. Thank you, Travis. Thank you for at least to the point you could handle that, standing up and actually putting her ass to the fire. And she didn't win her. She can't win herself out of a paper bag. But this, Travis, this was the discourse we wanted. This are the questions we need answered. And we need to start questioning people like Kathy B., Kathy H., because their words, their statements, their following. She said she had almost 5,000 people on Facebook at one time. The people that are following her are following liars. And it's going to get those people who are following her in trouble because they are seeking help. They desperately are needing help. And they think Kathy's help. And they think she's the one out there to help them. Follow her. when she has no concept of how economics work, not in any way, shape, or form. She can't even see how economics work just 6 months ago.
From what I've been told
Well,
or read, whatever.
we didn't have close to what's available. What Trump uncovered is the mother lode, and you don't even have enough zeros on a calculator. I don't think a computer screen's got enough zeros for the 39 quadrillion or whatever they're calling this. It's like 40 or 50 zeros. If Jeff B's on there, he'll probably can correct me. But I mean, this is going to be rolled out in stages. But things have got to be done, including the reevaluation, because we're all going to have new currency. Has everybody seen the new dollar bills?
Yeah, bro.
Those are not the new dollar bills. I can tell you a couple things. Chinese people and the Korean people that I know have no idea what you're talking about, and they are not going to accept this. They are not going to be accept. I can tell you that for 100%. They don't want to be equal to you. They never have. They don't want to. You guys aren't going to want to hear this, but the Korean people that I know, that I've worked with, that have been around with me, that I spoke with, who have been at my house, who I've talked at their house, do not want to be equal to you in any way, shape, or form. They don't want to be equal to you. They want to be so superior to you in regards to their intelligence, their job, their money, their status in life. They don't want nothing to do with a communism country. Why? Because some of them know what communism is. They don't want it. They won't live in it. And you are trying to push out communism, and you're too stupid to even realize that. This is the problem I have with this. You have no idea. You've never talked to anybody in any other country. You never talked to anybody that has actually dealt with communism, this type of money and forced work. Nothing. Ever. That the government promises you all these goods. We all live in big houses. You think that's new? It's been happening for hundreds of thousands of years. And you know very little. You know very little about history, about global politics, about other cultures, about other people. You don't think that Koreans get up and work 14, 15-hour days studying to be equal to you and get the same amount of money that you do you? No. No, they have motivation. They have to drive themselves to be better than you. Smarter than you. Because they know the importance of that intelligence. They know the importance of drive and intelligence and not sitting back waiting for free money. That's slavery. When I can't earn my keep, when I can't prove myself better than you, more worthy than you, that you force intelligence like mine down to the lower level of intelligence like David, that's slavery. When I can't prove my worth out of it, why should I? When my hard work, when my motivation, when my focus isn't rewarded, why do I go for it then? Why do I try to succeed in that? Why do I motivate myself to push myself harder? I don't. You don't believe me? Go ahead and check that unemployment. Check how much when you were getting $1,000 unemployment and everybody was sitting at home. How'd that work out? Nobody wants to go to work. We're all complaining about it. You complain about it, but yet you're too stupid to realize.
Everybody's seen rainbow currency.
Okay. And it's my understanding that some of Jeff B's hints was that rainbow currency was distributed.
To who?
And distributed to the former locations for the Federal Reserve around the country.
Oh, stop it.
If I'm correct in his
You're not.
in his little hint.
You're not.
Well, I don't know about that.
Jeff B and Kathy B and the two twin sisters here are both wrong. They're both wrong, and they're both a part of this, and they're both leading to people to be off this cliff. And I hope there's a class action lawsuit when they are. I hope people get together and say, you know what? You guys were scammers. You guys were frauds. You guys were cult leaders. You guys broke the system. You guys broke people. And I hope to God somehow you get sued. Because I'm going to tell you what. Some people are going to take their own lives because of you. You need to understand that. You will be responsible for that. Financial woes are a reason for suicide, and I truly believe you guys will be a part of that if this does not stop. But do you care? No, you don't care.
But the rainbow currency has shown up in Iraq for them to repay the Kuwait and the United Arab Emirates for their war against them, and it's not paid in dinar or
Really? You can't get your wife from the Philippines. You're going to tell me that you know that the money's been distributed in Iraq?
or U.S. fiat dollars. It was paid in U.S. notes, which is the rainbow currency.
No, U.S. notes is not the rainbow currency.
They have pictures of that, but as far as it being here, my understanding of what supposedly is supposed to happen is sometime Friday. This Saint Germain Trust is one can only be activated on certain days. Easter would be one. The 24th, Christmas Eve, is another. How much and all that other stuff, do not know. But certain individuals said, "Oh, we're going to have a very Merry Christmas." So I don't know.
Well, we will see. I'm going to end this one here, and we will see. And if you are wrong, are you willing to stop spewing your stupidity? Are you willing to do that? Are you willing to shut up and stop leading people down the road of a cliff? I know Kathy B isn't. Kathy B wannabe. Jeff B wannabe. Thank you, Travis. Thank you, Travis, for at least that short period of time of calling her out. Travis, the difference between you and me and Will is we're at a point that we can't stop. We have to keep pushing. We have to keep calling out because they're not getting the point. And it's dangerous. It's extremely dangerous. People will eventually lose everything because of people like Kathy B. And that's sad. And maybe I'm just a sheepdog. I can't watch people fail. I can't allow people to fail. Maybe it's none of my business, but you know what? This is my line. And I've talked about this. This is my line. I've had enough. I've had enough of people allowing people to fail. Who don't want to fail. Who literally are just looking for a support line. And you guys are slowly shaving that line with a knife until it gets so thin that they fall. All right, I'm going to end this one here. Check us out tonight. Defiant Discourse. This is what it's about. We're not looking to go after you, but you have got, these questions have got to be answered. People like Kathy B have to step up and tell me how this is going to work. And they either have to be, I have to be proven wrong or they have to be proven wrong. Because if we don't, if people continue to follow these Kathy B's, when I can give evidence that this handing out of free money is a very, very, very bad thing. What happens when people take out loans and people take out debt and people buy cars hoping for this all to be waived and it's not? Are you going to cover those bills? Are you willing to step up? I'll put money down that it's not going to happen. Are you willing to put money down? If I asked you right now for a loan for $5,000, Kathy, would you give me that $5,000? And I say, I'll pay you back as soon as my NASARA money comes in? You know what, Kathy? Give me $500. Send me $500 and I will pay you back as soon as my NASARA money comes in. You willing to take that? Would you do that for me, Kathy? Because I think somewhere in her brain, she knows it's really not coming. I'm willing to do that with anybody. Anybody that wants to give me $500, the second my NASARA money comes in, my new bills, my rainbow money comes in, I will pay you back $1,000. Anybody willing to take that bet? You give me $500, and when my NASARA money comes in, my rainbow currency, my rainbow notes comes in, I will give you $1,000, I will $5,000. You will double your money. But you got to give me the $500 now, and I want the green stuff. And then once it comes in, you will double your money. You can't get this anyplace else, boys and girls. This is unbelievable profit right here. You give me $500 today. When my NASARA money comes in, I give you $1,000. Kathy, you willing to take that? Jeff B, you willing to take that? David, you willing to take that? Are any of you willing to take that bet? Any one of you? I don't care if you give me $100. If you give me $100, I'll give you $200 when my NASARA money comes in. You willing to take that bet? Any of you willing to take that bet? Yeah, I didn't think so. As always, stay safe. Don't listen to the grifters.